Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/AmITheDevil. Some of these posts are actually quite diabolical today, I think, if it's the right one I'm thinking of. I'm recording this intro after I forgot to record it. I don't want to listen all the way through again, sorry. But either way, that we know they'll be diabolical anyway, okay? So if that sounds like something you would be interested in listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, so we're starting off with, am I the butthole for telling my teenage daughter to stay with her aunt because my older daughter didn't want her in the house? My wife and I have two daughters, Laura 20 and Lily 15. Laura's studying away but came home for the weekend. Lily has just had her first boyfriend breakup and it's hit her hard. She's been crying in her room for the past few days. Unfortunately, Laura has a bit of a wind-up personality and was tormenting her little sister about the breakup. That's not called having a wind-up personality, that's just called being a bumhole. Which only upset Lily more. She was saying things like if the boyfriend left her for a prettier girl and saying she didn't blame him, etc. We did tell Laura repeatedly to cut it out, but she didn't listen, to the point that Lily went to bed in tears. Laura has eye problems. She has been very visually impaired since she was a baby. Her current glasses prescription is -28 and she can't wear contacts. I think I know where this is going. We woke up this morning to screaming from Laura's room. Laura had woken up and put her glasses on, but the but the lenses had been popped out. Normally I'd be like, you shouldn't do that, you know. Like, glasses are very important to some people. Like, obviously, if you literally can't see without them, but what an unfortunate turn of events. Lily admitted to doing it and said that she threw the lenses out the window, flipping heck, Lily. We did try to search for them outside, but they couldn't be found. Laura was crying her eyes out and couldn't see anything at all. She does have a spare pair of glasses, but as she only came for a couple of days, she didn't bring them with her. To be fair, Lily regretted what she did as soon as she saw how upset Laura was, but Laura didn't want Lily anywhere near her and begged us to keep her away. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how she can't take it when someone's being horrible to her, but she's happy to dish it. Now, granted, was that a bit extreme? Perhaps. But, you know, if you're going to be a massive thunder twat, you got to expect these things to happen, ain't you? My wife's sister lives nearby, and I asked Lily to go and spend the day there because Laura was blinded and looking after her had to be our main concern. Why couldn't you have sent Laura there last night then when she was being an absolute vile little menace to your teenage child? I then got a call from sister-in-law saying, how dare you throw her out for that spoiled bully? Couldn't have said it better myself, sister-in-law, to be honest. It's not about spoiling anyone. Laura was blinded and terrified she was in her own home. She's not terrified. She just needs her other glasses. And was too scared to be in the same house as Lily. It was right to ask her to leave until we could get Laura back to her place where her spare glasses were. I do get that it was harsh just to tell Lily to leave, but what else could we have done when our other child was unable to see and crying in fear? Come off it now, she was not crying in fear at all. She was in her house, in her parents' house, with her parents. Yeah, she couldn't see, and if any other time that had been scary, but all she needed to do was go get her other glasses. Was it wrong for Lily to do that? Absolutely. That was so naughty. I can't stop giggling about it though. Oh my god. But it was bad. It was bad. But at the end of the day, so was what Laura did. She was literally tormenting the poor girl when she's absolutely heartbroken. Like, that's disgusting behaviour, and Laura's 20. Laura is an adult. Picking on a 15-year-old child. My goodness. And by the way, I just want to point out, editing me here, I just want to point out, because I'm sure someone will say, oh, you know, it's awful, you shouldn't mess with someone's glasses if they can't see, that's terrible, because, you know, it's like an aid. 100% agree. 100% agree. We can still find it funny, though, that Lily has done this as a full-time glasses user, by the way, who, if I don't wear my glasses, I will be in absolute friggin' agony. Like, awful agony. Migraines the lot. Worse than usual, anyway. I 100% don't condone what Lily did. Do I find it funny though? Of course I do, because my goodness, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But yes, I would like to say, don't mess with anybody's glasses. Don't fuck about with people's eyewear or vision aids and hearing aids, anything like that. Don't mess about with it. And like I say, I don't believe for a second that Laura was terrified, because she's literally with her parents. Her parents can help her go and get another pair, as I'm sure they did. Like, I don't buy this. She was absolutely terrified. I think Laura's playing it up. But she's literally with her parents. She's not on her own. She's not having to try and find a way around places or find a way to the opticians on her own. Her parents will take her and it'll be sorted. Is it inconvenient? Yes. Is it probably awful not being able to see properly? Yes. Do I think Lily should have done it? No. But again, we could definitely appreciate the humour behind Lily just going full ball to the wall and just giving it her as good as she got. So, down in the comments, Love Goose said, why didn't he make Laura stay at her aunt's house when she was being mean to Lily? Love Goose then says, also, Laura is a grown-ass woman who should have grown out of bullying BS. Exactly. I get sibling bickering or whatever, but there should be a point in time when you're mature out of it. And then Prestigious Drop 1810 says, I mean, my siblings and I still bicker all the time. I still could not imagine any of us ever saying the things that Laura said to Lily. Next post, am I the butthole for punishing my daughter for not coming to my wedding? I got married last weekend in my parents' house, which has been in the family for generations. For health reasons, only immediate family was there. My daughter, 16F, had been calling her new stepmom, 21F, names like Homewrecker and, oh my goodness, and I have been patient with her. She assumes I left her for her late mother because she had breast cancer. However, I did not leave her mother for having cancer. Nobody decides to have cancer. However, her late mother kept using her illness to devalue me and my sense of identity. She criticised the way I was taking care of her, and even stuff like my hygiene or the cologne I was wearing. Could that be because chemotherapy makes you really sensitive to smells by any chance? She made me feel worthless, and I felt like she was projecting her own insecurities by saying the smell of my cologne was disgusting, because she never made an effort to keep herself up, and despite the fact that I objectively... You are terrible. I objectively found her disgusting sometimes. I stuck by her until my self-esteem was destroyed. I would work hard closing deals all day and be acknowledged for my efforts at work. Yet I'd go home and she'd criticise and nag about every ounce of my being. There's a U in ounce, by the way. I met her stepmom when I was in a dark place. She made me feel like I could be myself again. My wife made me feel unattractive and S-less, and with my new wife, I felt alive. Just the fact that she appreciated me and felt physical chemistry with me made me want to do anything for her, to want to provide for her. That's when I decided not to bullcrap my wife anymore and file for divorce. Since then, my daughter's relatives from her mum's side have been poisoning her against me. Last weekend, when I and her stepmom went to the site of the wedding early, we expected to see her drive to the wedding later, but instead she ended up going to stay with her aunt. Everybody asked where she was, and there was chaos from my side of the family for locating her. As a punishment, I took a car and allowance away and have taken her phone away until I feel that she can learn to be respectful towards someone I very much love. You might love them, she doesn't have to. Grow up. And that it will be impossible for her to do that if she keeps having to hear from her late mum's side of the family. What? Is he trying to cut her off from her mum's side of the family? Oh my goodness. My parents have called and said that I was being too harsh. However, even when things are tough, I feel like I cannot let a child of mine believe they can just do whatever they want. Am I the butthole? Yes, and I don't even need to explain why. What is wrong with you? I mean, I know what is wrong with you. You think with your peen and nothing else. What a sorry excuse of a man. Okay, let's have a look at the comments, shall we? I'm sure these are going to be interesting. Alderstree says, you're the butthole. You cheated on her mother, regardless of the situation. That's all she sees. She doesn't know your marriage problems. All she knows is that you left her mother for another woman. Yeah, and I will bet my backside that those marriage problems are not being told in a truthful way. I don't believe for a second that the OP's late wife was being horrible to him and just an awful person and all this, that and the other, and was disgusting and all this lot. No, I don't believe that. I believe that he's probably gone and done what a scary amount of men do when it comes to their wives becoming ill, and he left and he ran. It's an actual statistic. Look it up. It's terrible. The amount of men that dip out as soon as their wife becomes ill. On top of that, you're marrying said woman when your 16-year-old daughter is still trying to deal with her mother's passing. Of effing course she didn't want to go. You're the butthole for not trying to be more understanding of your daughter, for trying to force her, and then for punishing her. Edit. Also, hold the effing phone. Somehow I completely missed that your new wife is 21. Yes, so did I. What? Wait, let me go back. How did I miss that? Oh my goodness, yeah. How old is the OP? With a 16-year-old daughter, far too old to have a 21-year-old wife. Far too old. My goodness. That makes it worse. She's only 5 years older than your daughter. They're close in age and you're still confused about her behaviour? Holy cow, I can't even. And then Sikik says, new wife is probably a gold digger. He said she made him want to provide for her. Like, what? Yeah. Okay, next post. Am I the butthole for telling my wife to leave instead of my parents after they fought about her religion? So, I don't even know how to start this, but I guess here's some important context. I'm 31, M. My wife is 29, F. We've been married a little over a year, but together for 5 overall. My parents are super Christian. I grew up that way, but I don't really practice. A bit more agnostic, but I just kind of go along with whatever to keep my family happy. My wife is Hellenic, and she takes it really seriously. She's got 2 altars in the house, one for Aphrodite in the living room, and another in her walk-in closet for Dionysus. She does festivals, offerings, all of that. It's never been an issue for us. Okay? I could see where this is gonna go. My parents have never really liked it, though. Why? Do they expect to have their religion respected? Cool, well then they need to respect hers. Even before they moved in, my mum joked once if we were planning on having gods raise our future kids for us, which I admittedly laughed at. I hate people like this. So hypocritical. And my dad refused to eat bread my wife baked at our Christmas dinner a few years ago because it didn't have the proper blessings, until I pushed him to because it came after one of her holiday things. My mum also said she worried she was inviting dark spirits in and stuff like that. Anyway, back in April, my dad lost his job and they couldn't pay rent and their landlord kicked them out. They had nowhere else to go since my sister doesn't have the room and anyone that would take them in lives out of state, so we let them stay with us. It was supposed to be short, but it's been 4 months now. Since they've been here, it's been a bit of a nightmare. My mum accidentally broke one of my wife's offering bowls, I'm sure that was an accident, in the living room, and then said that maybe it's a sign that those things shouldn't be out in public where people can see. Oh, better put your cross away then, my love, because don't want that out in public where people can see. My dad has made a couple comments about praying for her soul unprovoked. Then my mum actually sprinkled holy water around our bedroom and in my wife's closet where she keeps her Dionysus altar. My wife freaked out about that, but my mum said that she was protecting us and our spirits. Okay, so they're worried. They're worried that the wife is surrounded by evil spirits, but they're here, encroaching on her space, you know, disrespecting her beliefs, when she's just sat back, quietly practicing what she practices, having her things out in her own friggin' home, and I can imagine probably hasn't said a thing about their Christianity. Why can, they not just respect her beliefs and her respect their beliefs and agree to disagree? You know, you can believe something. It doesn't mean you have to make everyone else around you believe it, you know? My wife's been saying for a while that she feels like she's not welcome in her own house. She's cried about it and we've fought about it because she says I don't stick up for her. I can see that. I get that, but I've done little things, like I've told my parents not to touch her altars. I've made sure they don't rearrange her offerings. I've asked them to leave her room alone, even quietly told them that they're crossing a line when they make comments. It's not like I do nothing. I just try to do it without lashing out, because if I yell it out every time time, it would be a fight every day. Well, does that not tell you how toxic your parents are, mate? What the hell? If you had to tell them off every time they disrespected her beliefs, that it would be an argument every day, there is your common denominator for all your problems. What the hell? And nothing would get done. She says that's not enough, and I get that too. But I don't think it's fair for her to say that I don't stick up for her at all. So things have been tense between us. In early July, she wanted to celebrate the festival Aphrodisia. But that morning, my parents said there was an emergency with the storage unit and they needed her help because she had a car and I would be at work. She spent the whole day helping and didn't get to do the first day of her celebration and had to cover shifts for a co-worker for the next 2 days. This is so disrespectful and I'm so sad for the wife. Like, I am completely for respecting each other's beliefs, you know. The only time you'll catch me dogging on someone's belief system is if they are using it to abuse other people, or if the belief system in itself is inherently abusive. And, you know, I think it's important to call out sectors of certain beliefs and religions that are abusive, full stop. You know, you get Christian cults which take it too far and then start whipping each other and shit. Do you know what I mean? And we should be calling that out. We should be saying that's not right. But someone quietly practicing their beliefs, hurting no one, trying to push it on no one is absolutely fine. So last night, she decided to finally do it late. She had a couple of friends over and sat up in the living room. My parents walked in halfway through and my mum said she wasn't comfortable with that sort of thing in the house, and my dad said he couldn't allow false idol worship under his roof. Your roof? I think not, my love. My wife yelled that it's her house too, and they already ruined it for her once. My dad yelled back that she was dragging me away from God. Her friends were sitting there looking uncomfortable, and so was I. I'm sorry, but if you actually believe so staunchly in what you believe in, someone sitting and doing their own thing in their living room is not going to drag you away. Your son doesn't practice, mate. It's nothing to do with his wife. He just doesn't practice, and he does not care about your God as much as you do. And you need to accept that. I didn't know what to do. Everyone was screaming and I panicked and told my wife to leave until things calmed down. She stopped and looked at me, then went upstairs, grabbed some of her things and left with her friends. My parents were kind of relieved after. I finally did something right. No, you didn't. You really didn't though, did you? Silly Billy. But now my wife isn't answering my calls and texts. After I called her a few hours after she left, and there she said she was tired of fighting to matter as much as my parents do. I know it's messed up that everything got to this point, but honestly, if she hadn't started yelling like that and dragged her friends into it, maybe it wouldn't have blown up. You are very silly, aren't you? Edit. Can't reply to everyone, but I've read a lot of comments and I know I messed up bad. I feel awful for how I treated my wife, and I get now that telling her to leave her own house instead of standing up to my parents was the worst thing I could have done. I'm concerned it took a whole Reddit thread to bring that to your attention. Along with the other things that had happened, I'm going to talk to her and apologise properly. Also, I've been getting some really nasty DMs, including death threats, which is not okay at all. No, that is never okay. No one should ever be doing that. People on the internet are just weird as hell, man. I mean, people on the internet are also great. I mean, look at us all here today. We're all amazing. But some people on the internet are friggin' crazy. And I don't understand it. And no one should ever be sending people threats or death threats over the internet. And not only that, it makes you look like a bloody keyboard warrior, because let's be honest, you'd never friggin' do it. So what are you doing? But yeah, no. I think the main thing that this husband needs to think about is, what would she have done if she'd have taken one of their, I don't know, like Jesus statues. I don't know if people have Jesus statues, but I assume they probably do. Or one of their crosses and broke it on purpose. Like, to be malicious. He'd have can hit the roof. Do you know what I mean? He would have gone and done his nut. He would have been fuming. So yeah, he needs to look at it that way, doesn't he? So, down in the comments, Lumpiad63 says, "You mean your ex-wife?" I really hope so, because that's some massive disrespect. And then Julie Writer says, I sure hope she leaves him. So, OP, let me make sure I have this correct. Your wife follows a different religion than your parents do. She leaves them alone about their religious beliefs and they literally torment her about hers. They then lose their housing and move in with you, and you throw your wife out of her own home in favour of your bigoted parents. I'm zero religious, but I have to admit I'm hoping Zeus or somebody smites your ass with this little electric thingy. What's it called again? Oh my god, a lightning bolt. Frickin' hell. It's early, okay? It's not. It's the middle of the day. Oh, I got up early, okay? Edited to add bigoted because, yeah. XXX experienced turbator. Put my teeth back in. The jobless, homeless beggar father said he wouldn't allow false idol worship under his roof. Bitch, you don't have a roof! Literally. Okay, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, I'll appreciate you even more. Oh, and that is your initiation into the Cult of Void as well. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!